What's going on, guys? This is JT here. Welcome back to Diablo Immortal. In this video, we're going to be talking about my top 6 gems that I like on my Barbarian. I will go ahead and go over that and also explain why. First, actually, let me go ahead and queue up. I forgot Battlegrounds is going on. I just want to have this queue just in case we can potentially get a pop. However, the odds are very slim, and I highly doubt that's going to happen. So I'm going to go from right to left as far as talking about gems. So first, we're going to start out with Bottled Hope. Now, Bottled Hope, I would say, is probably my 4th or 5th most favorite gem for Barbarians, and the reason why I absolutely love this skill is because anytime you use a buff in this game, Bottled Hope procs. Now, what are Barbarian buffs? We got Demoralizing Shout that can proc the buff. We also got, proc Bottled Hope. We also got Sprint. And we also have Berserker Rage. Mostly what I use it for is Berserker's Rage. Now, you can get kind of crazy with Bottled Hope because Berserker's Rage has actually inheritances that can make it to where you do not get CC'd at all for 6 total seconds, and that can also be brought up by specific gear pieces, and you can get that even higher, and the same with Bottled Hope. Now, one thing about Bottled Hope that you need to know is also it increases your movement speed by 24%. Also, it increases your damage by 24%, and it lasts for 6 seconds, right? So with this lasting for 6 seconds, you can also bring it up with the Urge set. You can see things right here, which it says beneficial effect duration increased by 4.5%. So that can be brought up by that. Also, the 2-piece bonus increases beneficial effects by 30%. Literally, you can get Bottled Hope to last a total of 10 seconds on one character if you stack the extra benefits, right? So Bottled Hope, in my opinion, one of the best gems, definitely hands down. Like you see right here, you can tell when you use Bottled Hope simply by, let's say we click Berserker's Rage. You can see Bottled Hope right here, damage and movement speed increased by 24%. So this is going to also increase my crit, my movement speed, my ability to not get stunned or feared, plus I'm just going to be able to go ham and straight up murder somebody in the game, right? It's really good for PvP, no doubt about that. Second, we got Blood-Soaked Jade. Now, this gem is pretty much good on every single class. One of the best gems, and the reason why it's so beneficial, I mean, it increases all the damage you do, increases your movement speed. On top of that, makes you take less damage. What's better than that? I mean, every single class wants that, right? No doubt about it. Blood-Soaked Jade is hands down one of the best gems in the game. So if you don't have Blood-Soaked Jade, try to get it. Blessing of Worthy is next. Blessing of Worthy is one of my favorite gems for melee classes, especially my Barbarian. One thing you'll notice with Blessing of Worthy all the time, whether I'm in Challenge Rift, Elder Rifts, Open World Farming, or in PvP, Blessing of the Worthy does an insane amount of damage. Not only that, it also reduces the damage you take. So when you take damage, you have a 20% chance to unleash insane AoE damage, dealing a damage equal to 28% of your current life and decreasing all damage you take by 16% for 6 seconds. Absolute beast of a gem. Absolutely love Blessing of Worthy for melee. However, I do use Blessing of Worthy on my wizard as well and love it there also. So next we have Seeping Bile. One of my favorite, probably, honestly, I don't really know whether I like this more or less than Blood-Soaked Jade. They both do 2 insanely different things, but they both are very beneficial. And man, Seeping Bile is absolutely insane in PvE. If you guys don't know, the second you kill a mob, Seeping Bile then just goes to the next mob, basically puts a dot on that mob, and then drains the life from that mob and eventually kills that mob and keeps spreading and 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 spreading until every single thing is dead, and that's just how it works. Now, it does only have a 4% chance to poison the enemies for the first start, but that 4% chance is not that bad when you're whirlwinding, let's say, like 1 million enemies at once. That 4% chance spreads relatively fast, right? Not only that, when you're in PvP with Seeping Bile, you put that 4% dot or tick on somebody for 6 seconds, then they can no longer bandage up, which is pretty big as well, right? You put that dot on them, it's straight ticking their life down. A lot of the times in PvP, I'll see myself put the Seeping Bile dot on somebody, and then they'll try to run away at low life thinking they're going to get away, and then boom, what happens? Seeping Bile procs on them and kills them, which is very beneficial. So we have your attacks have 4% chance to do poison or to poison enemies, inflicting 65% base damage plus 263 every second for 6 seconds and decreasing movement speed by 24%. So not only do we have the initial damage overall per second, we also got the movement speed reduction, which is pretty awesome as well. It can't happen more than once every 20 seconds, which is no big deal. Next, we have Howler's Call. Now, I do currently actually use Howler Call on my wizard. However, I am going to be taking that away because my wizard's mainly for PvE. And one thing I've noticed is I hardly ever use my primary attacks. You know what I mean? I simply just don't use magic missiles all that much in PvP because it doesn't really do that much damage. However, when I do run out of my disintegrate, sometimes I'll throw in some magic missiles just to hope I get a Howler's Call proc to stun somebody, right? And to put in that extra damage. However, I will be trading in Howler's Call on my wizard for Bottled Hope. So I absolutely love Howler's Call on my Barbarian. One of my favorite gems. I'm constantly using primary attacks. If you guys don't know, if you use your primary attack right here, this is what Howler's Call looks like. Use this primary attack. Eventually, you will see the big old red dog Clifford right there comes out. Now, you have a 10% chance to summon that Charging Spirit Wolf, which inflicts 360% base damage, which I've seen my Howler's Call proc for over 100,000 damage against PvE monsters, which is nuts, right? We also got plus 1458 to all enemies in its path, which is nice because if you're running a high-level challenge rift, that 1458 damage is stationary and it will always hit for that much, so that is a big additional bonus of damage, right? We also has a 48% chance to stun enemies for 3 seconds. Now, one thing to note, this can stun like 6 people at the same time. So let's say you're fighting like the heart in a PvP battle. You're at the final instance and you're just smashing down their heart, right? When you send out a Howler's Call into a group of 6 people, you then have basically a 50% chance to stun, you know what I mean, 100% chance pretty much to stun 3 of them if the RNG goes your way as the gem says. But you have a chance to stun all 6 of them, right? That's insane. For 3 seconds, that is a massive stun. You can then sit there and straight damage them as they're stunned, right? So Howler's Call is one of my favorite gems for barbs. I will definitely not be replacing that anytime soon. The gem that I will be replacing first on my Barbarian is going to be Phoenix Ashes. This is my least favorite gem on the barb, and the reason why, it just has too long of a cooldown, man. 3-minute cooldown, 180 seconds for this gem. It does grant you a shield that absorbs damage equal to 1050 of your base damage, which is relatively nice. However, like I said, 3-minute cooldown, not all that good. You basically get to use it once in PvP per battle, maybe twice if you're lucky and the battle lasts 6 minutes. Same with PvE, man. You just don't get to use it all that often, right? When the shield expires, it does heal you for 80% of the remaining value, which is pretty nice, but like I said, you just don't get that much out of Phoenix Ashes. I do have it, obviously, ranked 10, 5 stars, and I have it as my 6-spot gem. The other 3 gems just don't really work for me on a Barbarian. Chip of the Stone Flesh, not a fan. It only procs from 2 different skills as a Barbarian. Both skills are not even used, so don't use Chip of the Stone's Flesh. Zwinsen's Haunting, beast gem, love it for PvE. However, I do PvP a lot on my barb, so honestly, don't really use Zwinsen's Haunting all that much either, but not completely against the gem. Still like Zwinsen's Haunting, just doesn't fit me for what I mainly do on my barb. Then also we have Echoing Shade, which in my opinion is relatively useless for my barb, especially in PvE, because it basically holds enemies back with the copies or the clones that it spawns. And then it basically holds all the mobs, I keep saying basically, it holds all the mobs far away from you, and then you kind of want to gather all the mobs up. So you have your clones fighting mobs at different parts of the maps when you want all the mobs to be right near you as a Barbarian stacked on top and just straight murdering everything at once, right? So these are my favorite 5-star gems on my Barbarian. We got Bottled Hope, Blood-Soaked Jade, Blessing of Worthy, Seeping Bile, Howler's Call, and also Phoenix Ashes, man. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I am out of here.